So we are the interns from Republic County Hospital. My name's EmilyJensik, and today we have Peyton Nash here too. And then our other intern, Laura Scupa, she's on a mission trip, so she isn't able to make it here today. But as I said, my name is EmilyJensik. I'm from Belleville. I'm going to be a junior here in the fall at Kansas State, and I am majoring in kinesiology, and I plan to go into physical therapy.
Hi everyone, I'm Peyton Nash. I'm from Deshler, Nebraska, and you're probably like, oh, why is she at Belleville? My mom is a speech therapist in Belleville at the hospital, so that's kind of how I got into this hospital. I go to school in Kearney, Nebraska. I have a health science major, and it slightly changed through this process.
So a little bit about what rural Kansas means to us. Being in Belleville and any really rural area, you work with a small population. So whenever you go out to eat or you go to the grocery store, you always get to see people that you know, and we love that. We also have a lot of availability. Being in a small town, you know, we still may have a small grocery store or an auto shop or places to eat, which is really nice too. We also have a community. You know, a lot of small towns, you build a lot of connections. You have a lot of people that you get to build relationships with that you can use further on down in your life.
I think a big one for me is connections, and especially just in this hospital, they welcome me in like with wide open arms. Every day, somebody says hi to you. It's very welcoming, and so it's just a fun environment to be around. The opportunities are out there. They're awesome. At the hospital, there's so many different things that I've been able to do in this whole process, and just anybody, and Emily could agree with me too. And the support as well. We're young and don't really know what we want to do yet, so them saying, hey, try this or try that is just super fun to be able to experience.
Do you want us to scroll it? Okay, so you might be wondering where Republic County Hospital is. So we included a picture of Kansas on here. So that little red square is where Republic County is, and then our hospital is located in Belleville, Kansas. So it's a pretty small area. Belleville, our school is like 2A, so you can kind of get an idea of what that might look like. So, but we get a lot of people around our whole county coming to Republic County Hospital since it's kind of a smaller area.
And then we just wanted to share some fun facts about Republic County Hospital as well. So the first thing is diversity. There's a level 4 trauma center / critical access hospital. That's what it is. There's lots of new additions happening, like the training mannequins and new in-house MRI. And the mannequins, actually, you can do literally anything on them. One could give birth, and you could be in that whole process, or lots of cool different things.
We have over 15 providers in our hospital, and then we also have 26 different services that are offered here. And we also just got, our clinic is now, you can walk in and get service right then and there. So that's a really nice addition. Now that you've learned a little bit about our hospital, let us tell you a little bit about ourselves and our experience. Again, I'm Emily. My internship summary, I was in the rehab department, so I worked with a lot of PTAs and PTs, and I got to work a lot this summer. I got to work on Tuesday, Thursdays, and then when Peyton was gone on vacation, I got to work during that time too, so that was great. I got to see a lot of outpatient and inpatient care, which is very interesting to see kind of the difference. I got to see a lot of rotator cuff, reverse shoulders, which if you've never heard that before, there's a picture of it. They switched the humerus head and put it on the other side of the scapula. It's very interesting. I got to see some total knee replacements. I got to see some back pain, SI joint pain patients. I got to see a Parkinson's patient, and they just started a new program on this patient, and just like already seeing the progress that this patient has made is amazing. I also got to see a lot of dry needling and even a lot more than that. So some of my things that I've taken from this experience, benefits, I was able to come back and work back home. Since I'm from Belleville, it was really great to be able to get a job and work at home. I also have my own little pottery business, so it was great to be able to be home, work at the hospital, and do something I enjoy. Another thing, I was able to witness firsthand the process of physical therapy in a rural area of Kansas. I haven't really been able to see too much of like what it looks like in a small town physical therapy place, and so it was great to actually be able to come home and see what that would look like. Another benefit was the positive culture of our public county hospital. You know, I'll walk down the hallway, Peyton and I will walk down the hallway, we'll see people we know and don't know, and everyone's like, hey, how are you doing today? You know, it's great to see you. What are you up to? Like, I haven't seen you before. So it's just really a good place to be. Some of the impacts, it's definitely increased my desire to return to rural Kansas. I didn't really have an idea of where I wanted to go after PT school, and I can definitely say that this has impacted me and probably made me think more about moving back home. Another thing that impacted me was I recognized the significance of education. Like, you really get to see how much you're going to use, like, anatomy and physiology, and just using that knowledge in your actual work helps you kind of motivate you to want to learn more. I also built a lot of strong connections with like my co-workers and even patients. Like, I'll come in and someone last week said, well, where's Little Red? Like, asking my coworkers, and I wasn't there, and it's just funny to hear that, you know, you've made an impact on other people. Some of the things that I enjoyed was the amazing work environment. Like I told you guys, my coworkers, Peyton can say this too, our coworkers there are just amazing. They always check up on you, ask you how you're doing, like, what are you doing next week? And they always keep telling us how they're going to miss us so much, so that's really sweet. I also really enjoyed seeing patients succeed and the progress they've made. Like, you know, we had a lot of shoulders, and like seeing their range of motion increase and them like being so excited and ready to get back to their normal is amazing. I can confidently say this experience has continued to grow my passion into the field of physical therapy.
So I'm Peyton again, and this is my intern journey. So I also was in the rehab department a little bit, but I have actually worked at the Republic County Hospital for the past 3 summers. So I kind of knew what to expect in that department, but this summer I still helped out there a little bit and did more of the paperwork side and scheduling patients and whatnot, and so I got to learn how to discharge patients and all the paperwork and the fun insurance stuff you go through and all that fun stuff like you making that book. But then I also spent some time in outpatient clinic, wound clinic, pain clinic, rheumatology, and surgery. And I had never been in any of those fields before, so I didn't know what to expect. I walked into my first day of outpatient care, and they were like, okay, so what do you all know? And I go, I know nothing. What do you guys do here? And so while I was there, I learned like what cancer treatments they do and a lot of IVs and just why patients come in and get shots where they do and different stuff like that. And then wound clinic, there was a lot of feet wounds that I saw, and so I learned what types of skin material they use so the skin grows back correctly. And one patient was allergic to any antibiotic and anything you could put on a wound, so that was interesting to see how that gal had to learn a different way to recover from what happened to her. Pain clinic, this was probably one of my favorite things. I learned about epidurals and epidural ablations. And the epidural is the bottom picture right over here, and that's just when they take the needle and pretty much kind of poke it around and make sure it's in the right spot, and then you put the medication inside of it. And then the epidural ablations is right above it, and that is when they use heat and like electric shock waves to cauterize that nerve so it can stop the pain. And so it was one of the first times Republic County Hospital had that happen again, and so I was lucky enough to watch that, and that was really fun to see. And a couple patients had no pain with under 24 hours, so that was super cool to hear too. And then rheumatology, I watched a couple things on there. And then surgery, I got to watch a total knee replacement, reverse shoulder, what else did I do? Gallbladder, and a hernia surgery. And the total knee, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, am I going to pass out? Am I going to be okay? I made it through, and it's been super fun to do that because I got to see the physical therapy side of the pre-op and the post-op of that patient, so I really understood how that whole process happens. But my favorite surgery I watched was probably the gallbladder, just because it was laparoscopic, and I could see everything inside, and the doctor was like, and see, here's where this is, and why she did it a certain way. So that was really fun. The benefits of this whole internship for me were new relationships. That was a whole different department in the hospital that I've ever been with, and I didn't know those people before, so now I have those relationships that will probably last for a long time. It's definitely widened my horizons of healthcare careers and tasks, just because I didn't know what to expect going back there. Different forms of patient interaction as well, because I was used to physical therapy and movement and different things we do in our department, but not what they get. And another benefit I don't have up there is that it changed my major and what I wanted to do. I actually was thinking more pediatrics and pediatrician, and now that I was in the surgery department and hung out with all those people, I want to change. And I'm thinking more nursing and can be a nurse in the surgery department and then get to be a nurse practitioner in the future. So that's been an awesome thing to realize as well. Some impacts is it was a wonderful learning experience I will never forget, especially the memories I made and just the different patients that I've met along the way as well. It narrowed down a future career for me, just as I had mentioned, and connections to the hospital and coworkers that will last a lifetime. What I enjoyed, this opportunity to shadow in multiple departments. I really thank Republic County Hospital for them allowing me to be able to do this, especially since the therapy department is my home. I got to branch out a little bit, and that was a lot of fun. The relationships I gained, and learning why everyone chose the career they do. When I went and shadowed, I would ask them, well, why did you choose to be the nurse and not the surgeon? Or why did you want to be the doctor and not the nurse? And just hearing like, well, you get to see the patient more, or you get to do this with them instead, I just thought that was really touching to listen to. Okay, and then we just have one more. And then we would just like to thank the Dane Hansen Foundation, Nex-Generation Student Internship Program, and Republic County Hospital for giving us this opportunity to grow our knowledge in healthcare and leadership. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for both of us, and we would definitely recommend this to many more in the future.
I have a couple questions. Unrelated, but Emily, could you tell us about your pottery business?
Well, I got into pottery my sophomore year of high school, and then COVID hit. And so I asked my dad, like, could I get a pottery wheel? And he was like, sure. So then I've just grown it, and I get orders from people off Facebook, and then I just sell it to them. And I think I've made about 50 things this summer, so I've been a busy girl.
Yeah.
Tell them the name of it.
Oh, my business is called Ginger Pots.
That's awesome. And then Peyton, this is more on topic, but you were talking about, your career change or what you want to do kind of change. Was there like a defining moment where you were like standing there and you were like, this is it, like this is what I want to do?
Yes, so I followed around a nurse practitioner as well, and that was when the wound clinic stuff was, and just hearing what she did from day to day, and she was like, and you never really know who's going to walk in the door. I was like, oh, that's an awesome thing to notice. Mm-hmm. And then I was talking to one of the surgery nurses and asked her why she chose nursing, and she just said the patient interaction is so much different. Like, you're with them way more than a doctor is, and you see them awake and not asleep, and so I like that a lot. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Thanks, Guy.